that aren't. But here we see that Quotsa is going to be building his army up and pushing through these rocks with queens, hydras, a couple, not many hydras. So I presume that he's going to be relying on his queens. We do see a bit of Void Ray harass being almost entirely denied. There was nothing done, it poked around. Took a bit of a pot shot at the queen retreated, and these units came up and dealt with everything that was happening. We do see that the natural for Wish is almost up. Let's have a look at the army supply. There is a significant advantage to Quotsa, especially after that engagement. However, +1 attack for the Zerg units, +1 attack only just started. Does he have +1 melee? He does not, but that's a lot of queens coming. He's got 5 queens in the mix with these roaches. There's a couple of hydras for a bit of extra DPS and a lot of lings. We do see that the Maynard is coming from Rish, and it looks like we are going to be seeing an engagement. He's pushing, drawing a few force fields, continuing to try and macro. We do see almost in pure unit production coming from Quotsa. Quotsa just holding position here, waiting for his creep Tyrmus to finish and start spreading creep. However, Quotsa is very far ahead. However, if we look at the unit counting session, Wish is still ahead in terms of economy. Oh dear, and we are going to see a bit of engagement. Very nice force fields from our Protoss player Wish, managing to separate a lot of units. However, if we look at the units lost tab, it's relatively even, in fact. Not too much of a difference in either favor. We do see another push coming, a few force fields. The Zerg is going to pull back. The Zerg is presumably trying... Oh, oops. Bit of a missed rally on misclick on that probe. The Zerg player, as I said, is trying to draw those force fields out because he knows once those force fields are gone, then the Protoss is going to be in a world of hurt. Quotsa doing very well, spreading that creep very aggressively, poking in, trying to draw some force fields. He does manage to get 3 force fields for 1 Zergling. That's very good. Quotsa now also trying to sneak the gold. And we're going to see what happens with that. Oh, we are going to be seeing Wish sending a Zealot. He's fully contained, so he knows this is the point that Zerg is going to be wanting to do the mass expand thing behind this kind of contain. So he's going to be sending a Zealot to deny that gold expansion, whereas in the meantime, Zerg is busy microing this army, trying to push the Protoss back, do some damage, basically kill the Protoss ball here. However, it's now forced to actually cancel that. Here we see, oh dear, we do see Quotsa being a little bit indecisive here, deciding not. He could probably just run through there. I'm not sure if he's if the force fields would work. If he Wish would be able to get the force fields in time, just select all the lings and run them in there. Take out all these probes. That's a lot of probes, because if we look at the main, it's mined out. But that, again, if we continue to look at the army supply, we still see big advantage going to Quotsa. However, it's not anywhere near as significant as before, but we do see does have a Colossus out now, and that's going to really help deal with these Hydralisks and Lings. Positioning, I think, feels much better for the Zerg player, and very nice force fields to cutting off half the army. However, if we look at the units lost tab, oh dear, okay, he's still using a lot of units as Zerg player, but if we look just at the size of the army, it's looking like getting a little bit further cut off, and he is going to be force fielding very nicely, cutting off the army. Let's have a look at the worker supply. The army supply is now slowly getting closer and closer. Let's have a look at the APM tab. We do see it's kind of a lull at the moment. Let's check out what happens. We do see this Zealot that was denying the gold. He's going to make sure there's no thing there. Quotsa now trying to draw units away, try manipulating the position, but Quotsa just not being decisive enough in his use with his units. But it does look like he is massing to do a push here very shortly. And he is going to be pushing in here right now, and we're going to be seeing a big battle, but no, the force fields go down, and Wish does a very nice job of cutting off a few units, but that's a lot of force fields for just a few units, and there's more and more units on the way. 16 Lings and 6 Roaches are on the way. Quotsa is going to be trying to get some kind of good positioning on going here, but if we look at the units tab, we do see Wish still ahead economy wise. Quotsa instead opting for almost pure army. And let's have a look at the army count now. Despite the damage, at the moment so far, Zerg and the Protoss have been trading fairly evenly, and we have some hallucinated Colossus going down, but it does accidentally hallucinate right in front of him. So here Quotsa is thinking that, oh dear, okay, those Colossus are hallucinated, but there are 3 real ones in here, and some force fields are going to disrupt the concave here. Wish continuing to fall back while these units are pressing in. That's a lot of units there, but those Colossus are doing a lot of damage. The Queens are here and healing each other up, making sure that no Queens are being lost unnecessarily. There's hardly any units left for our Protoss player, but then the same can be said for Quotsa. Now if we have a look at the army supplies, become a lot closer now. In fact, Wish inching ahead now. So this could spell trouble for our Zerg player. We're going to see how he manages to push through. Again, Quotsa's still trying to tame, but if we check the mini-map here, we're going to be noticing there is no third. Wish being very diligent about making sure to scout everywhere, whereas Quotsa is just holding position here. He's now actually pulled drones, healing his Queens before he's going to go for the last final engagement. He is going to try and make this one count. He's going to want to kill that ball. However, we do see that Wish is going to be splitting his units, using the high ground for his Colossus, but he will be falling back. He's going to be pulling drones to help with it. This is a fine move from Wish. That looks like a lot of pros, but he is oversaturated, or he was. He doesn't really worry. He just needs to kill this push. He knows that the Zerg doesn't have any kind of third expansion at the moment, and it looks like he's going to be able to hold. There's a few Queens left, but there's almost everything is gone. We have 1 Colossus and several Stalkers. Lings just arriving from Quotsa, but again, let's check the army supply, and now Wish has inched ahead, so it is still doable for Quotsa, but he really needs to get good positioning. He needs to do some damage. There's some force fields, but kind of not particularly effective. However, those Stalkers are going to protect the Colossus for a while, and we just see Quotsa is going to GG. Well played from both players. A very aggressive opening from Quotsa, was very well defended by Wish. It probably just didn't do enough damage, and Quotsa a little bit too indecisive with when to attack and where to attack. He had his units out there, but all he had to do was separate a few Lings and go kill that Zealot, go kill those pylons that were sitting around the place, and he could have gotten a third expansion, kept macroing behind this, but he chose not to. He was desperately trying to kill that Protoss ball, and it just didn't work out for them. Wish having a very tough time defending that. I do believe Quotsa very worried about force fields, in fact, and I believe that's why he didn't try any run-by. But as you can see, that even if the Zerg army has higher supply, in a straight-up fight, they just don't win against a Protoss player. Very well played from both players. I do hope you enjoyed the match. I will be casting more in the future. If you like this match, if you want to see more, please do hit the subscribe button down below. I hope you enjoyed the cast, and good night and good luck.